Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dark Souls walkthrough. So in the last episode, we cleared the Undead Asylum and made it here. So where is here? Well, this is called Firelink Shrine. This is the hub town of the game, and you're going to be spending most of your time here. So, let's talk to this guy.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess, fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first, but there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the Undead Asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the Undead Church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
So there we go. We have our quest. We have to ring 2 bells. One is up above, one is down below.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
So yes, you may have noticed this already, so I think it's about time that I explain. So why is our face the way it is? Well, this is because since we're an undead, we are prone to hollowing, as it's called. And that is what's happening to our character currently. Now, this isn't permanent. You can reverse this with a bonfire. So I think it's about time that we demonstrate how humanity works. So if I use a humanity here, you'll see the number in the top left just changed to a 1. And now if I rest of this bonfire, we have new options here. Reverse hollowing. So if I use this, it will use this humanity, and as such, it will... There we go. I am now human once more. Now the benefits to being human are quite large. So one is that you can be invaded, so you can do some PvP. 2, you can summon, so you can summon other players or NPCs, as I will demonstrate later. And 3, you can kindle. Now kindling will use humanity, which I don't have any of, but it will use humanity and it will basically spend a humanity to increase the amount of Estus flasks you get from a bonfire. So normally you get 5, but for every time you kindle the bonfire, you get an extra 5 Estus flasks, and it goes up to a maximum of 10 initially. So you can only kindle it once, but later in the game it is possible to increase it to 20. So you can get a maximum of 20 Estus flasks per bonfire rest, which is pretty handy. It really alleviates a lot of the stress of the game. Now the other option here, this is very important. This is level up. So this is how you level up your character. You would open up this screen at a bonfire and you spend your souls to upgrade your stats. So I think it's about time that I explain the stats. So first up we have Vitality. This will increase your health and nothing else. Well, all stats will increase your defense, so yeah. But overall that's not important. Basically all stats increase your defense, so your defense increases as your character levels up. So it's not all about armor. But Vitality, all HP, very standard. Attunement, this will increase your attunement slots, which is basically how many spells you can have equipped. And Endurance, this will increase your equipment load and your stamina, very very good. Strength, this will increase your damage with strength based weapons and your ability to carry heavier weapons. Dexterity, this will increase your damage with dexterity based weapons, and that's about it. And Resistance, this is the only useless stat in all of Dark Souls. All other stats are fair game, but Resistance is useless. A lot of newbies pick this because what it does is that it increases your defenses more than the other stats. Now that sounds good, right? Well, no, it isn't, because again, all of the stats increase your defenses to a degree and also do a lot of other stuff which makes them infinitely more useful than this. Pretty much the only unique thing you get out of this is poison resistance, which is pretty useless anyway, so yeah, do not put points in resistance. That is a newbie mistake that a lot of people make. And I think I've heard that resistance is actually in the game as a joke by the developers, so even the developers don't expect you to pick this useless stat, so do yourself a favour and avoid it. Next up, intelligence. This will increase your damage done with spells or sorceries, not all spells, just sorceries. And faith will increase your damage with miracles, which are a different form of magic. And the final form of magic is pyromancy, but that doesn't scale with either intelligence or faith. Instead, pyromancy actually scales purely with the item called a flame, but I will demonstrate that later in the guide. So for my first level, I am going to increase my endurance and a bit of vitality. I recommend increasing endurance first because it actually increases stamina and equipment load, which are both very handy, because equipment load allows you to fast roll easier and also allows you to wear heavier armor, and vitality increases your health, which is infinitely better than resistance. That's another reason why resistance is useless, because vitality increases your health, and health is infinitely more useful defensively than resistance. So yeah, just don't do anything with the stat, just for the love of God, don't put a point in it, please. Anyway, so with that done, let's continue talking to this guy. Now, before I talk to him, let me introduce this guy. This guy is known as the Crestfallen Warrior. He is a undead, just like us, and he came to this land presumably on a quest just like us, but he has long since lost hope. That's a running theme you'll notice in Dark Souls. A lot of characters don't really have a lot of hope, because this world is pretty vicious, as you probably can tell from the fact that it's called Prepare to Die edition, and Dark Souls is known for being hard. Yeah.
What? You want to hear more? Oh, that's all we need. Another inquisitive soul. Well, listen carefully then. One of the bells is up above in the Undead Church, but the lift is broken. You'll have to climb the stairs up the ruins and access the Undead Burg through the waterway. The other bell is back down below the Undead Burg, within the plague-infested Blight Town. But I'd die again before I step foot in that cesspool. Bloody hell, what is it now? You ask too many questions. What now? I'm not up for chatting. Leave me alone.
Okay, so he won't say anything more to us now, but if you reload the game, or if you kill a boss, or multiple things like that, then he will actually have more to say. So every time you visit Firelink, be sure to talk to all the NPCs, because they may have new dialogue for you, and their dialogue can reveal all sorts, from tips and tricks to story to like just tips about their character. So yeah, it's good to talk to NPCs in this game. Now, facts about the NPCs in Dark Souls: every single one of them can be attacked. You can attack the NPC and you can kill them, and frequently you will loot some items from them, but not always. I really advise against doing this. If you must kill the NPCs, be sure to do it right before you finish the game, because the NPCs do not respawn in Dark Souls 1, and also they will likely kick your ass for most of the game. And also it's just plain like mean to kill the NPCs, so try not to kill the NPCs unless you really want to, and try and save it until the end of the game. Just do yourself a favour. Anyway, loot this corpse, get free humanity. Very handy. So in this episode I'm going to be exploring Firelink Shrine and the first area of the game, all the way up until the first boss. That is how I will section these videos off. I will go up to a boss and then I will finish the episode. We got our fire bombs. Fire bombs are very, very handy in the early game. Always good. And over here is our second NPC.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Firelink. Have you business with us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
So this is Petrus of Firelink. He is a cleric and he would like to keep a distance, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't like you. So let's keep talking to him.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
1 copper coin. So the copper coins, what are they used for? I thought this game used souls as currency. Well, the coins in this game don't have a use, but they can be sold later on. There is a merchant that you can sell stuff to, but I will talk about that when we get to it. And that's basically the only use of the coins in this game. They can be sold to that merchant for a decent amount of souls. But no, there are no coins in this game. Souls are the currency in Lord Jan.
Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Yes.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
Alright, our first covenant. So what is a covenant, you may ask? It's basically like a contract, sort of. So when you join a covenant, you will be able to access that covenant's benefits, and you can join any other covenant at any time you wish. So yeah, let us join the covenant.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
There we go, we have our first merchant of the game, and we can learn a gesture, shrug. So, he sells basic miracles. These are all very simple miracles, good for all you clerics out there, and they can help out in the game quite a bit. We have Great Heal Excerpt. This is a big heal, quite handy. We have Homeward. This will teleport you to the last bonfire. We have Force. This will blast enemies backwards. We have Seek Guidance, which is quite an interesting one. It will display more messages from other players, which can be quite helpful, but overall not too helpful. And finally we have Heal, which clerics start with anyway. Basically it's just a simple heal. And he sells 2 talismans. These are what you need in order to cast miracles, and clerics will start off with one. However, do not buy one of these because you will find one in the starting area anyway. So just do yourself a favour.
My companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defences, to keep her from harm.
Now, the next bit of dialogue he has is quite interesting. I will actually leave first of all.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
So the next bit of dialogue he has, he will actually tell you about this undead mission, but it comes at a cost of souls. So I require souls. So I only have this 1 soul of a lost undead currently, and that is not enough. I believe it is your level multiplied by 100. So mine is currently 7, so I need 700 souls. So I'm going to go find some souls and we will talk to him again. So if we head up here, another soul of a lost undead, there we go, that will help. As you can see, these give 200 each, but that is not enough. We require 700, so let's go. Now over here is where an elevator should be, but it's not here, because as the guy said, the lift is broken. But if you drop down, that is not a bottomless pit. And out here, we can enter a little secret area with a bunch of chests. Open this up. Get 6 homeward bones. These will allow you to teleport back to your previous bonfire. They are very handy. Over here. Get some Lloyd's talismans. So these are quite interesting items. Basically these are more for PvP than anything. If you throw these at an enemy, they will actually prevent that enemy from using Estus Flask. So pretty handy in PvP. In PvE, not too useful. Enemies in this game do actually use Estus Flasks, just like you do, but it doesn't really matter because it just leaves them wide open anyway, and it doesn't really heal that much health. So yeah. Lloyd's talismans mostly used for PvP, but can be used in PvE, but not too good there. And here, a talisman and a morning star. I will not be using the morning star, but the talisman is pretty handy. That's how you cast miracles. And again, that's why you don't buy one from Petrus, because you get one there anyway. And over here, cracked red eye orbs. Now, what are these? These are the PvP item of the game. Using these, you will be able to invade an enemy player. So, yeah, you want to do some PvP, that is what you use. Now, down here is the graveyard. Now, these bones look kind of suspicious, don't they? That's because they are. So yes, these are the skeletons. There are 3 ways that you can go from the starting area, and the graveyard is one. And lots of newbie players go this way. So here's a piece of advice. Do not go this way first of all. This area is way out of your reach at this stage of the game. These skeletons are far too strong. You can clear the catacombs at this stage, but good luck. It is very difficult at this stage of the game, and it's not even important. You don't need it at this stage. So don't go this way yet. Come back here later and I will show you when. And then it will not only be much easier, but it will actually have a purpose at that point. So yeah. So let's just dispatch these skeletons and get out of here. As you can tell, they have an awful lot of life at this stage, because our weapon is too puny. Ow, ow. Now that bar you can see there filling up is the bleed bar. When that reaches full, my health will get a significant damage, because bleeding basically does a large percentage of your health as direct damage when that bar reaches full. So don't let it reach full, and it will go up every time you get hit by a bleeding weapon. Ouch. And I am doing quite badly, and there's a bird in the way. Stupid bird. Stupid bird. Stupid bird. Get off the edge, get off the edge. Get in here. You see how tough these guys are? The skeletons in the actual catacombs, which are underneath the graveyard, are actually stronger, and he just killed himself somehow. So that helps. But yeah, the skeletons in the actual catacombs are much stronger. And not only that, but they regenerate. Yes, they regenerate, and off you go. But yeah, yes, they regenerate in the catacombs. So yeah, I do not recommend you go down there in the slightest. Even experienced players would have a terribly hard time. And over here, a statue. Who to? We have no idea. And an empty chest for some reason. Who knows why this chest is empty? So, with that done, we need to explore the rest of the shrine. We still don't have enough souls, so we can't really buy his information just yet. So down here, this is the underside of Firelink Shrine, and in here, no response. She cannot speak. So this is the Firekeeper. She is one of the few NPCs in the game that cannot be fought, because she is protected by these bars. So she is the Firekeeper of Firelink Shrine. So what is a Firekeeper? They are basically the being that keeps the fire burning, and also ensures that it gives you 10 Estus Flasks as opposed to 5. And if the Firekeeper should die, the flame will be extinguished, and it can never be reignited. So do not kill the Firekeepers in this game. And she can do this, she can reinforce our Estus Flasks. Now this will use an item called a Firekeeper's Soul, which we do not have any of right now, and this will upgrade your Estus Flask, causing it to heal more. So, pretty handy. But of course she cannot speak, so enough of that. Now down here, will lead us to a different area. This will lead us to an area that we don't need for a majority of the game, so I do not recommend you go down there at all. In fact, you know what? Don't go down there. It's a stupid, stupid idea at this stage of the game. So, which direction do we go? Well, we go up these stairs. That is where we go. Up here will lead you to the Undead Burg, which is where the first bell is located. So, let us advance. We will return soon though. So, let us fight these guys. Block the attack, follow it up, and down he goes. That's a good way to approach combat in this game. Block their attack and then follow it up. And it will usually deal with most enemies, because as you see, when they hit your shield, they will stagger, which gives you a nice opening to attack. So block, out, firebombs. Watch the firebombs. Yeah. Pick up this item, Soul of a Lost Undead, and over there is an item, so we will use the jump. You jump by sprinting and then quickly pressing B during a sprint. The jumping controls in this game and the jumping in general is pretty wank, but it's not too bad once you get used to it. So yeah, head over here, get this, a Ring of Sacrifice. So the Ring of Sacrifice is a ring that when worn, when you die you will not lose your souls or humanity upon death. Because that's another thing as well. In this game, when you die, you not only lose your souls, but you also lose your humanity and go back to being hollowed. But with the Ring of Sacrifice, you won't lose anything, although the Ring of Sacrifice will shatter upon dying, so it is a one-time use. So only use it in zones where you have a feeling you're going to die, and you really don't want to lose your souls. And again, there will be many places like that in the game that I will show you. Anyway, get a firebomb. And now we have enough souls, so let us head back to Petrus, and we will buy his information. See you there. Okay, we are back to Petrus, so let us talk to him.
Oh, hello. I will teach you miracles. A promise is a promise, after all.
I wish to talk.
An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
Show your dedication. Requires 7 souls. Bit suspicious that a cleric will ask you for souls to demonstrate your faith, wouldn't they? Something to think about.
Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to seek kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers.
So there we go. Petrus and his fellow clerics seek kindling in the catacombs, because the catacombs is where you will find the item that will allow you to kindle bonfires further than normal. So originally you can only kindle them once, but with the item in the catacombs you can kindle them 3 times. So you can get 20 Estus flasks from each bonfire, which is very, very handy. You have to kindle each bonfire individually, by the way. You can't just kindle one and then they're all kindled. Each bonfire must be kindled individually, so kindling all of them will require quite a lot of humanity. So I recommend avoiding doing it until you get to an area that is pretty tough and you really feel like you need that extra Estus to really help you through it.
Come again.
Yes. So, now we will get back to the Undead Burg and we will make our way up. Okay, let us head up here. So this guy has an axe. But again, just like all the rest, it can be blocked. The shield is pretty effective. The heater shield is one of the actually more better standard shields in the game. It's quite stable, it's quite light, and it blocks a good amount of damage. Now what do I mean by stable? Well, basically the stability of a shield determines how much stamina each block will take off. So if I open up our equipment screen here and toggle the display, you can see the stability there in the middle, and this will determine how much damage to your stamina is taken from each block. So the higher the stability, the less stamina you will need to block attacks. So only the more stable shields can effectively block heavier attacks. And of course the damage reduction, this determines what percentage of that damage will be blocked. So this will block 100% physical damage, 30% magic, 70% fire, and 50% lightning. So pretty standard and pretty decent for a standard shield. And there are three kinds of shields in this game. There are light shields, which are quite light but don't really do a good job of blocking. There are standard shields, which are pretty standard. And there are great shields, which are very heavy, but they are very stable and block a good amount of damage, but also cannot parry. So what you gain in raw defense, you lose in the ability to parry and riposte. Whereas lighter shields are actually more effective for parrying, for the most part. And in here, a rat. Not a very threatening enemy. Soul of a Lost Undead. And we will make our way over here. And over here, does not open from this side. We will have to go in there later. Maybe one day we will find a loop around. I have no idea what those messages are talking about. Up here, more dudes. Welcome to the Undead Burg. This is basically the undead town, and we will be spending a fair bit of time here. So get comfortable. Now, things to note about this game. Secrets are everywhere. Break these barrels and it will reveal a path. So we head down here, get a large soul of a Lost Undead, that's more effective than a regular soul. And over here, a hollow, trying to get the sneak on us. Well, he ain't sneaky. And you ain't sneaky either. Well, these guys get cut down like butter. Easy peasy. And over here, soul of a Lost Undead again. Very, very handy. Head back out here. You guys ain't sneaky, I see ya. Easy peasy. The enemies in this zone, very, very simple. Enemies in this game will get much more tricky as the game goes on though, so be prepared for that. At the start they're pretty simple. Ow, ow, ow. Although they can still kill you quite fast if you're careless, so be careful. Thing to know about Dark Souls, it's a game that really punishes getting cocky and getting greedy and all things like that. So always be careful, always be cautious, always play safe. Get some rubbish. This has basically no use. It is general rubbish. Climb up this ladder. And over here, another item. What could it possibly be? Humanity. Very handy. Humanity isn't just used to gain humanity, by the way. Humanity is also used to heal as well. If you use humanity, it will fully restore your HP, and this is quite a useful aspect of humanity. So yeah, some people just like to use it as a healing item entirely, and how you use it is up to you. Cut these guys down, always good. Very, very simple indeed. Nothing in here, so let's not go in there. And there is a fog. Oh. And a waistcloth. Very good. And there is a fog. Although, there is no boss, don't worry. Over here, another soul of a Lost Undead. Lots of souls to find in this game. They'll really help you get a nice amount of souls. And up here... What? Behold the Hellkite Wyvern. A lot of people mistake that for a dragon. That is not a dragon like you saw in the intro cinematic. That is a wyvern. So, yeah, don't get them mixed up. The easiest way to tell the difference, dragons have 4 legs. Wyverns and drakes have 2 legs. And that thing only had 2 legs. So, that is not a dragon. Now up here, there will be a crossbow guy shooting you, so be sure to watch his bolts and kill these guys nice and easy. Ow. And don't do that. Hurt, hurt, hurt. So, we need to get up there to kill this guy. Head up here. Go on. Hurt. Yep. Well. Nice and simple. And in here, a bonfire. Very, very good. Now, in order for bonfires to actually become your checkpoint, you must rest at them, but beware, this will respawn all the enemies you've killed, so don't rest at it until you have cleared out the entire area, because otherwise you'll have to kill everything all over again. Now these guys over here, these are spear guys. These guys are much more passive, but much more patient, and much harder to deal with. But the easy way to deal with them, go two-handed and and don't do that. Okay. So yeah, go two-handed and bash through their guard, like so. If you go one-handed, then your attacks will simply bounce off their shield, leaving you open to attack. But if you go two-handed, then you can actually bash through their guard and then hit them with a counter-attack afterwards, which will usually dispatch them quite nicely. That's the thing, if the enemy likes to guard a lot in this game, try two-handing your weapon, because two-handing your weapon will allow you to bash through most guards. Not all guards though, some guards cannot be bashed through. So down here, this looks rather safe, doesn't it? Well, don't be fooled so easily. There are enemies lying in ambush all over this game, and if you get caught off guard, it can mean death. So, be sure to dispatch them, and you'll be fine. Now over here is a man. I know he looks evil, but he's not. He's perfectly friendly, so don't kill him.
Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
So this old fellow is the Undead Merchant. He is pretty much hollowed, but the only thing that keeps him going is selling items. So yeah, kinda sad, but that's the way of things in the Dark Souls world. So, he sells all sorts: repair powder, throwing knives, firebombs, Lloyd's talismans, orange guidance soapstone. This is quite handy. This will allow you to write, view and rate messages. I'm not sure why it says view and rate messages, because you can do that anyway, but it says write because this will allow you to write the messages. This is how players leave those messages on the ground. So quite handy. If you want to help some players out, then that is how you do so. And he sells some key items as well. The residence key, which unlocks residences in the Undead Burg. This is a very handy item and pretty much required later on, so be sure to get this. A repair box, this is how you repair your weapons and armour, and a bottomless box, this allows for inventory management. It's not really important, you have unlimited inventory space anyway, but pretty much this just allows you to make your inventory screen a bit easier to navigate, but overall not too useful. And he sells all variety of weapons too. He sells the dagger, the short sword, the scimitar, the rapier, the hand axe, the club, the reinforced club, the spear, the short bow, the east-west shield, the small leather shield, the buckler, the leather shield, the heater shield, the warrior's round shield. And he sells some arrows and bolts, all sorts of stuff. And even some chain armour, which is of course the armour set that the crestfallen warrior was wearing at the start of the game. A rather lame looking set, but perfectly practical. Now, I do not have enough souls to buy it, but I want to get a short bow, because bows are incredibly handy in this game. I highly recommend you get your hands on one, because at many points in this game they will come in very handy.
Things are getting treacherous in these parts. A horrible goat demon has moved in below, and up above there's that humongous drake and a bull demon too. If you stick around this place, it might end up being your grave. Here, I'm not here to chit-chat. We talk business, or we talk nothing at all.
So that's all he will say to me. But again, just like other NPCs, if you come back here after reloading the game, he will have more to say. So yeah, if you want to see all the NPCs' dialogue, then reload the game or revisit them later in the game, because they will always have new stuff to say, or frequently have new stuff to say.
Thank you kindly.
Now I am going to consume some souls because I want to get that short bow, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so I will now pick up the short bow. You will get better bows in the game, but the short bow is perfectly serviceable. And arrows, we will get some arrows. I can only afford 11, unfortunately, but that will do for now.
Oh, Thank you very much. Come back soon.
Okie dokie, and I will equip the short bow. So, bows in this game, you can only use them two-handed. So, yes, you have to go two-handed when you use them, and then with L1 you can aim, and you can shoot them however you like. Bows do have a limited range in this game, so you need to be at least a certain distance away from your enemy in order to do good damage. Some bows have better range than others, but for the most part, there's not too much difference in their range. And also, you have to equip your arrows in order to shoot them, as you can tell. Now, over here, there is some more dudes, and we must fight the dudes. Right, come on, come on. Right. Easy. These guys just go down like a sack of bricks, and their bodies are an awful lot of fun to play with. The only game in the main series to not have the ragdoll physics is Dark Souls 2, by the way, which is quite unfortunate because the ragdoll physics were like one of the most fun aspects of the game. Get some throwing knives. These will very, very, very quickly become useless, but they're pretty useful for like the first few levels. Now, this over here, the only way to get over here is to jump from this rooftop. It's a really difficult jump to make, and you'll probably have to do it multiple times, so... Oh. And also you could do that and just fall off the wrong way. Okay, be right back. Alright, you bastard. Alright, let's make you. So, get a running start. Run. And we made it, first try. Excellent. That's a bastard of a jump to make. You will fail that a lot on your first time. But once you get it, it's not so bad. So up here, round this corner, a light crossbow and standard bolts. Very good. Crossbows, I don't believe can be aimed like bows, unfortunately. And also crossbows, the difference with crossbows mostly is that I believe they can be used one-handed as opposed to bows, which can only be used two-handed. And bows can be aimed, whereas crossbows cannot. But also crossbows I don't think have any scaling, whereas bows will scale with dexterity mostly. So yeah, it's up to you which one you use, but bows are usually the more useful one of the two, because crossbows cannot be aimed. Now, we enter here, round here, get a wooden shield. The wooden shield is not as good as our heater shield, so we will not be equipping it. And if we head in here, we can rest at the bonfire. And I am actually out of time for this part, guys, so I'm going to be wrapping this up. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.